Yo, what is up YouTube? Charuzu is also known as Charles Mingoy. So, um, let's react to what the Russell Westbrook Lakers trade really means. So, if you don't know, I'm a LeBron James fan. If you watch my other videos, you know. And I was hyped when that happened because here in the Philippines, the time of the time of in US, the time in US and the time here in the Philippines are super different, like 12 hours, I think. So when I wake up, I said, my brother said, Westbrook is in the Lakers. So yeah, I'm hyped. I'm definitely excited with the Lakers team right now. We also have Dwight right now, so I'm happy. I'm happy. So let's act to this video.
Alright, man.
By the way, shout out to Swiss out. Gonna link his gonna link the video down below. So go watch it.
First of all, I want to say we are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 300.
Know what? I'm gonna subscribe. Well, he does have 300 too. So, but you know.
Okay. If you are new, make sure you come over here and hit that subscribe button and show.
I know. I'm subscribed.
Been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. A trade that when I seen it
It's too loud.
rumored like 2 weeks ago, I just looked at it and damn near laughed because it didn't even seem real. Y'all remember all those jersey swaps back in the day when Russell Westbrook was put in the Cavs jersey and everybody made it seem like Russell Westbrook was going to get traded to Cleveland, and you knew it wasn't going to happen, so you kind of just smirked at it, but this time it actually happened. Last year, Russell Westbrook got traded to the Wizards, making it the first time a former MVP got traded in consecutive years. And now he just got traded in back-to-back-to-back years. It's kind of crazy where his career has been heading post-OKC. Now, if you don't know the specifics of this trade, Russell Westbrook has been traded.
KCP is the best player that we give up. Just to be clear, okay?
Along with the 2024 and 2028 second-round pick for Kyle Kuzma, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and last night's 22nd overall pick that turned out to be Isaiah Jackson. Now, I'm not going to waste any more time. I want to give you guys my version of the good, the bad, and the ugly of this trade. And of course, I'm going to start with the good. I don't want to start off on a bad note. Last year, the whole Lakers season to me, it just crumbled into pieces because I felt like they were burnt. They were burnt the hell out. First of all, the Lakers already kind of had a disadvantage because they had the shortest offseason of all time from any champion in any major league sport, I believe.
Yeah.
Then in February against Denver, Anthony Davis gets injured. This ultimately leads to LeBron picking up his slack and him eventually getting injured. Something that to me that was kind of predictable, especially at that age. Then after that, and I said this in my What Went Wrong with the 2021 Lakers video, everything bad that happened, it was basically collateral damage. I've told you guys on multiple occasions, the window of AD and LeBron being your two sole superstars and expecting them to carry you to an NBA championship, that window was very short, especially considering the fact that LeBron is 37 and the player that's supposed to be LeBron's successor, AD, his body doesn't really allow him to carry that role in a traditional sense because he's normally the one that's being carried even though he's significantly younger. Now with Russell Westbrook,
He always get injured, so
both of their jobs become significantly easier as far as the laboring throughout the regular season. Russ now becomes like that insurance policy to allow AD and LeBron to not hone in so much on the regular season. Now
that's what I said. If LeBron wanted to rest, he can play whatever he wants. If AD wanted to rest, him and LeBron can play. If the two superstars are both in the rest, he can take over. That's why I love the Westbrook trade for the Lakers. Even though he's not a shooter, so that's bad. But you know, he has a takeover move, takeover capacity. na capability. Yun. Si
They
Kobe
have someone that's
capability.
proven, established, and capable to
He
help
can carry
lead
a
them to
team.
those favorable spots as far as positioning and seedings and all that important stuff in the playoffs. Also last year, Dennis Schroeder, for whatever reason, he just couldn't be that consistent secondary
I
playmaker for
know.
LeBron. Like, he just
I
couldn't.
know.
The Lakers, they basically went as LeBron went. And when he couldn't get that offense going, damn it just didn't go.
Yeah.
Dennis, especially in the playoffs, he struggled with his shooting. He really didn't elevate the team in that Rondo-like style that I'm sure they hoped for. And
Yeah,
he
I
was looking to
know.
be expensive for the future, especially for the production he was giving you. So I'm sure the Lakers, they're probably happy to have that departure with Dennis Schroeder. Even though Russell Westbrook doesn't necessarily fit the best, and trust me, we're going to get to that later in the video. He does play make at an extremely elite level. He does draw a ridiculous amount of attention in transition. And to put it simple, he just allows LeBron to be 37. I'm almost positive that Frank Vogel is going to do a little bit of what Mike D'Antoni did and Scott Brooks with Russell Westbrook. And basically what I mean by that is Russell Westbrook is going to get a good amount of time with the second unit. When LeBron James goes out, they're going to allow Russell Westbrook to basically keep that offense
Yeah, take over.
afloat. Last year, I feel like when LeBron left and he sat out specifically in the playoffs when he took a rest, that offense had no motor. Dennis Schroeder didn't fill those shoes. Now you have Russell Westbrook to do that at an elite level, as we all know. Russ has always been best to me in that floor raiser type of role where he's basically surrounded around clear inferior talent and he's dragging them to the promised land. That's pretty much what he's been best at his whole career.
Okay.
Now with the Lakers, he's on a team that kind of needs that, especially if Anthony Davis gets injured again, which kind of is a thing, and when LeBron goes to take a rest. Now they still have that engine to keep the team afloat, and like I said, be that floor raiser to carry a bad team. Like I said, that insurance policy, that's what they needed, and Russell Westbrook is the perfect guy specifically for that. Now, on to the negatives, and really the stuff that concerns me.
He can shoot. That's all I need to say.
Number one, as you guys should know if you watch basketball, spacing. In
Yes.
this heightened three-point era that we live in
He
today,
can shoot.
where three-point shooting and stretch bigs, they become so pivotal to successful teams, you're almost like bringing a knife to a gunfight if you don't shoot the long ball at least an above average clip. If you look at the worst,
Ready your guns. War Thunder, the military online action game, has received a new major update. Cutting Edge Aviation is now available in-game, including
three-point shooting teams of just last year, almost all of them were picking very high in last night's NBA draft, and how they shot the ball, that was a big reason why. Now on LA as it stands, you have a point guard who's horrific as a shooter, as we all know. Like, he's terrible. THT, who's even worse statistically, at least he's even worse than Russell.
So you're telling me that LeBron James, my idol, is the second best shooter in the LA Lakers right now? Nah, let me change that because we have Monk, we have Ellington, we have Trevor. They are good shooters. We have Melo, so they are shooters. So I'm confident right now. I think we can go with the run.
Westbrook, LeBron, who's extremely streaky, and AD,
We
who
have Ellington, okay?
I don't even really want shooting a bunch of threes. Marc Gasol is your only consistent threat from shooting the deep ball.
Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony.
And that's a problem. That lineup as it stands, that would be the worst shooting team in the league by far. And to be
Yeah,
honest,
I
it's not
know.
even close. And you really can't consistently win like that, especially in this new heightened three-point era. Like, it's just too hard. Now, I know their roster, it isn't done, and they still may flex their mid-level exception rights and sign vet minimum contracts and all that stuff. But all those crazy scenarios where they
We do have Kendrick Nunn. I almost forgot he went to the Lakers, but he can be a good backup.
still get Buddy Hield or a crazy free agent, bro, that's to me, that's a massive reach. I feel like they're going to sign those vet minimum contracts and basically sign those low-tier free agents for whoever fits under their cap. Like, that's what they're going to do if you ask
Wait
me.
lang, eto.
Now, I've even seen some people go as far as to bring up Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and Chris Bosh and say, well, if that team worked with Russell Westbrook or with D Wade not being able to shoot, why can't Russell Westbrook, who can't shoot, and LeBron and Anthony Davis, why can't they make it work? If you're thinking like that, bro, you are just completely wrong. One, the NBA was completely different back then, as mid-range games were still extremely popular. Centers like Dwight Howard still ran the NBA, and the narrative that three-point shooting teams don't win championships, that was still a thing back then. And even though D Wade wasn't a great perimeter scorer, do you understand that at that specific time you had peak physical LeBron as far as like his body and all that stuff, and dominating on both sides and flying through the air and basically dominating the game on all facets? That's the LeBron you had back then. You don't have that now with 37. And Dwayne Wade, even at that time, he still gave you extremely efficient scoring and high-level playmaking. And, bro, do you understand specifically in that 2013 Heat year how loaded that team was from shooting the three-pointers? Like, bro, they were ridiculous. Shane Battier shot 43% from deep.
This concerned me. How many threes did he attempt? Did he attempt? Probably only 3 and make 2. Bro, Keith Anderson is the best shooter in the planet. By far. Look! 67% is the best shooter. Better than Curry, better than Ray Allen, better than Reggie Miller. He's the best. 67. I'm gonna round it up, okay? 67 kasi he's the best shooter of all time. Percentage wise, okay? 67%? Give me other players that shoot like this. 67%. Chris Anderson.
Ray Allen was Ray Allen.
The big man. The bird man.
Mike Miller was on that team. James Jones. LeBron had the best shooting year of his career. Mario Chalmers shot over 40%. Rashard Lewis was on that team. Like, that whole team, they shot the ball perfect, and it was the perfect surrounding pieces around Dwayne Wade and LeBron, who was already kind of like an odd fit. The Lakers don't have that. And you have to understand this. When Bosh, Wade, and LeBron came together and made that work, they all played on disgustingly low contracts, especially for their value. That's how they were able to get Ray Allen, Mike Miller, whatever. The Lakers, they don't have that. Like LeBron, Russ, and AD, they're going to be making $120 million next year alone. So they don't have that type of flexibility, bro. This also concerns me about the fit. I don't want Anthony Davis, who already to me struggles with shot selections. It's easy to get him away from the basket and make him turn into a Kevin Durant style of player shooting these long ass shots. I don't want him playing with two high usage as players, Russell Westbrook and LeBron. I don't want him to fall in love with kind of like that spot up shooter type of role. It's easy for that to happen. Yeah. That's kind of like that Kevin Love trap. And to me, it can be a little bit worse with the Lakers because now you're playing with Russell Westbrook and LeBron, two players who don't shoot the ball necessarily the best, two players who also love to drive and kick, and you're already a little deficient as far as your perimeter shooting as your roster stands right now. So you're going to need Anthony Davis to kind of pick up that slack. That's a slippery slope if you ask me. You don't want to have Anthony Davis on that team and he really can't be Anthony Davis because he can't be in the paint because Russell and LeBron needs that spacing. Like that's a little dangerous if you ask me. Also for Russell Westbrook, and lastly for Russell Westbrook, I ain't trying to make this a bash Russell Westbrook video. I'm just being honest and telling you how I feel. As I said earlier, he's a floor raiser, and him being on bad, inferior, talented teams, it's actually best for him because he's the type of player that's inefficient and streaky, so he has to shoot his ass out of terrible slumps and all that stuff. He has to shoot himself into rhythm. He may start off 2 for 16 before scoring 20 straight points. Like, that's the type of player he is. He has to shoot himself into rhythm. Yes. And being on bad teams, he gets the reps and the opportunities to be able to do that. With the Lakers, he's not getting that opportunity, bro. He's just not. he's not going to get the chance to really shoot the Lakers out the game while LeBron and AD just sits there and watch. Like, that's not going to happen. And if he's not in a rhythm and he's not really effective, that kind of defeats the purpose of having Russell Westbrook even on the team. Hence why the Rockets in 2020, when they had him and he really couldn't be effective and he was struggling to find his fitting, that's why they had to trade Clint Capella and get Robert Covington and make the team more conducive for Russell Westbrook. Because what's really the point of having him and paying him $44 million and $47 million and all this crazy stuff if he can't be effective and he can't be Russell Westbrook? You might as well not even trade for him. LeBron, like Russ, he's always benefited from those catch and shoot type of players, or just that Kyrie style of player where he can just score in any fashion, anywhere on the court. Catch and shoot, drive, creation, you name it. Kyrie was just unique. If he doesn't really and don't say Rondo. I know people are going to say, well, he played with Rondo and all that. Bro, last year in the West, Rondo shot 45% in the playoffs. Like, it's not even a comparison. This fit with Russell Westbrook, I don't really like it stylistically, but who knows, bro? Maybe they might make it work kind of like the Nets did, where you just have three crazy names and they make it work. I don't feel that way, but who knows? For the Wizards side, I mean, it was aight. Like, they didn't get nothing too crazy to me. Hopefully, they can move on from Bradley Beal. Do not keep that man on the team and possibly make like the 8th, 7th seed and just be trapped in that weird no-man Orlando Magic space where you just making the playoffs, but you have no real chance and you can't get a crazy lottery pick. Like, go all in, let Bradley Beal thrive somewhere else while he's in his prime, and go all in on a rebuild like Orlando and Oklahoma City. Don't stay in this weird space where you can't win. Like, bro, make a decision. If you guys like this video,
My initial reaction to the Westbrook trade, I mean, I like it for my team. Because, like I said, the takeover mode, he does have that. But the like this man said, he is a little bit streaky. Like, he will be 0 out of 6 and score 20 points the rest of the game. Like that. So he needs his rhythm to go take over. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Hope you like the video. Subscribe to Swiss Zone. What's his name? Swiss Out. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. And that's all. Peace.